Light could be shed on one of the 20th century's darkest episodes later Thursday. Donald Trump's administration is allowing the release of classified documents into President Kennedy's assassination as the 50-year-old Congress deadline to keep the information under wraps passes. Kennedy was killed in Dallas in November 1963. He was in an open-top car at the time with the First Lady when shots rang out. The rest is history. The killer was Lee Harvey Oswald. He was swiftly arrested but was shot and killed 2 days later while under police escort. Historians have long pored over Oswald's motive and his past. Next, Ilya Petrenko has been retracing one significant chapter in the notorious killer's life.
Where might you find the most drama in Lee Harvey Oswald's life story before the events of November 1963? Well, it could be his short but eventful stay in this city 4 years before he assassinated President Kennedy. Most of the places which formed part of Oswald's extraordinary trip still exist, like the Leningradsky railway station, where he arrived from Helsinki in Finland, his last stop in a Western country before reaching the USSR. Oswald stayed right here at the Hotel Berlin, which is now the Savoy. It's just a few minutes walk from the Kremlin and the former KGB headquarters. His visa meant that he only had 6 days to get a Soviet citizenship, so he wasted no time in trying to secure his hammer and sickle passport, which began with this letter.
I, Lee Harvey Oswald, request that I be granted citizenship in the Soviet Union. I want citizenship because I am a communist and a worker. I have lived in a decadent capitalist society where the workers are slaves. I do not want to return to any country outside of the Soviet Union.
There was interview after interview with the KGB, but Oswald couldn't convince officials he should be allowed that passport. Then, back inside Hotel Berlin, his Russian guide, in reality a supervisor that is assigned to every foreign visitor, found him inside the bath. Inside one of these rooms, he'd slashed his wrist attempting to commit suicide. Doctors managed to save Oswald's life. He was allowed to stay and wait for mercy from a higher Soviet authority. With this confidence boost, the ex-Marine asked American diplomats to revoke his citizenship. Then he agreed to an interview with one U.S. journalist.
I would say he was extremely superficial, very immature, and very misinformed.
It took the former U.S. Marine an enormous effort, more than 2 months, to get a Soviet passport only for 1 year. The day after he got hold of the document, he set off for Minsk in Belarus, the capital of one of the USSR's smaller republics, to work on a Soviet factory. He boarded his train right on this station. In Minsk, Oswald met his first Soviet lover, but she turned down his marriage proposal because she was afraid to marry an American. And just 2 months later, he met a 19-year-old Marina Prusakova, his future wife and mother of his first child. Yet with a drab job and nothing to do outside of work, according to Oswald himself, he would soon make the decision to leave the USSR for good, along with his family. After what seemed to be disillusionment with the USSR, there was only one way home for Oswald, and that was through the American embassy. Ilya Petrenko, RT, tracing the footsteps of Lee Harvey Oswald in Moscow.